My introduction to Bob Dylan's music goes all the way back to junior high. My best friend, Alan, and I would spend hours at his house listening to his parents' records. Among them were Dylan's albums, Highway 61 Revisited, Blonde on Blonde, and The Times They Are A-Changin'. Even as kids, we could sense there was something different about Dylan's music. He, along with the Beatles, inspired us to write hundreds of songs. His voice, raw and unapologetic, carried a weight that felt timeless. We didn't fully understand the depth of his lyrics, but we were drawn to the way he used music to tell stories, challenge norms, and provoke thought. It wasn't until later in life that I realized just how profoundly Dylan's music had influenced not just my own journey, but the history of America. During the 1960s and 70s, Dylan became a voice for a generation. Songs like Blowin' in the Wind and The Times They Are A-Changin' became anthems of the civil rights movement and anti-war protests. His music wasn't just entertainment, it was a rallying cry, a mirror held up to society's struggles, and a call for change. Dylan's genius lies in his ability to capture the spirit of an era while addressing universal truths. His lyrics delve into themes of justice, freedom, love, and faith, resonating across decades and cultural divides. He didn't simply write songs, he crafted poetry set to music, weaving complex narratives that challenged listeners to think deeply about their lives and the world around them. One of the most pivotal moments in Dylan's career came on the evening of July 25th, 1965, when he took the stage at the Newport Folk Festival, backed by an electric band, and roared into his new rock hit, Like a Rolling Stone. The audience, composed largely of folk purists and political activists, reacted with a mix of shock, booing, and scattered cheers. This defining moment, the inspiration for the major motion picture A Complete Unknown, marked Dylan's declaration of musical independence, signaling the end of the folk revival and the birth of rock as the voice of a generation. It was, as Elijah Wald explores in Dylan Goes Electric, Newport, Seeger, Dylan, and the night that split the 60s, the shot heard round the world. Wald's thoughtful and nuanced analysis provides fresh insights into this seminal event, examining the cultural, political, and historical context of Dylan's artistic evolution. He delves deep into the folk revival, the rise of rock, and the tensions between traditional and groundbreaking music, offering a sharp appraisal of Dylan's complex relationship with the folk establishment and his sometime mentor, Pete Seeger. Dylan's move to electric reshaped popular music forever, embodying the transformative decade that was the 60s. As Todd Gitlin notes, this is one of the very best accounts I've read of musicians fighting for their honor. Dylan described his early works as almost magically written. During his 2004 60 Minutes interview with Ed Bradley, he admitted he didn't know how he managed to write songs with such profound and penetrating lyrics, calling it a wellspring of creativity. Songs like It's All Right Ma, I'm Only Bleeding, and A Hard Rain's A Gonna Fall remain timeless reflections of societal tensions and personal truths. His ability to blend the poetic with the prophetic solidified his status as a cultural icon by age 25, with fans and critics alike labeling him the voice of a generation and even a messiah. Yet Dylan resisted those labels, humbly insisting he was merely a song and dance man. This celebrated first memoir explores critical junctures in Dylan's life and career. Through Dylan's eyes and open mind, we see Greenwich Village, circa 1961, when he first arrives in Manhattan. Dylan's New York is a magical city of possibilities. Smoky, night-long parties, literary awakenings, transient loves and unbreakable friendships. Elegiac observations are punctuated by jabs of memories, penetrating and tough. With the book's side trips to New Orleans, Woodstock, Minnesota, and points west, Chronicles Volume One is an intimate and intensely personal recollection of extraordinary times. By turns revealing, poetical, passionate, and witty, it is a mesmerizing window on Dylan's thoughts and influences. Dylan's sense of destiny propelled him to New York City in his late teens. As he wrote in his memoir, the fantastic lights of New York drew him in, offering a stage where he could explore his talents and fulfill his purpose. Within months of arriving in Greenwich Village, the frenetic center of the 1960s counterculture, Dylan signed a recording contract with Columbia Records. Songs like Blowin' in the Wind and A Hard Rain's A-Gonna Fall emerged during this time, cementing his role as a cultural and political icon. Yet Dylan's refusal to conform to expectations was just as defining as his music. He constantly reinvented himself, whether by embracing electric guitar at the 1965 Newport Folk Festival or later exploring gospel themes in his music. In the late 1970s, Dylan experienced a profound spiritual awakening. This marked a bold turn in his career and intersected with my own faith journey years later. Albums like Slow Train Coming and Saved openly declared his newfound faith in Jesus Christ. Songs such as Gotta Serve Somebody and Precious Angel called listeners to confront spiritual truths. While some fans and critics were divided over this shift, I found his courage inspiring. Dylan didn't shy away from his convictions, even if it meant alienating some of his audience. Later, a friend of mine, also a Dylan fan, would tell me that many of Dylan's lyrics were apocalyptic in nature, inspired by the Book of Revelation. This period of Dylan's career was pivotal, not just for him, but for many who heard his music and were drawn to explore faith for themselves. His willingness to proclaim the gospel through his art reminded me of another artist who influenced my life deeply, Keith Green. Keith's music, along with Last Days Ministries, helped lead me to Christ. And I see parallels between his ministry and Dylan's, both unafraid to challenge and inspire their listeners toward a deeper truth. Dylan's impact on American history and culture was recognized in 2016 when he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature. The Swedish Academy honored him for having created new poetic expressions within the great American song tradition. This unprecedented acknowledgement of a songwriter's literary merit highlighted the transformative power of his work. Dylan's songs are not mere melodies. They are profound reflections on the human condition, blending storytelling, poetry, and music in a way that reshaped both art and culture. Seeing A Complete Unknown recently reminded me of these parallels. The film beautifully captures Dylan's early days, the struggles, the triumphs, and the relentless pursuit of his artistic vision. It's a story of a man who refused to be defined by others, staying true to his sense of destiny. Dylan's journey is a testament to the power of faith, creativity, and authenticity to shape not just one's life, but the course of history. As I reflected on Dylan's life after watching the film, I couldn't help but think about my own writing career. Dylan often spoke of destiny in Chronicles Volume One. The word appears many times, underscoring his belief that his life was part of a greater plan. It's an idea that resonates deeply with me. In my #1 bestseller, The Trump Code, I explored the idea that President Trump's destiny is intertwined with America's, just as Dylan's music became a cornerstone of America's cultural identity. The Trump Code examines the prophetic and historical forces shaping the Trump presidency and America's future, tying them to the broader narrative of divine providence. Similarly, my latest project, Revelation 911, co-authored with Pastor Paul Begley, delves into how the book of Revelation intersects with today's headlines. It's a wake-up call to the spiritual and geopolitical shifts shaping our world. reminding us that history is not random but orchestrated by a sovereign God. The book explores the destiny of nations, the role of America in biblical prophecy, and the call to spiritual preparedness in these tumultuous times. Like Dylan chronicled the cultural and political upheavals of the 1960s, I feel called to document the spiritual and historical forces of this era. Dylan once said, "The picture you have in your mind of what you're about will come true." That statement reflects the faith and perseverance required to walk in one's calling. Dylan's unwavering belief in his purpose mirrors my conviction that my work, like his, is part of a greater narrative. This belief in destiny has been with me since I was a child. My grandmother, Trella Hope Schiller, often encouraged me to follow in the footsteps of my great-grandfather, plus Friedrich von Schiller, the rock star of his time and one of Europe's greatest literary figures. Schiller's enduring legacy includes the poem Ode to Joy, immortalized by Beethoven in the Ninth Symphony, and a body of work that championed freedom, beauty, and the worth of the individual. Inspired by his legacy, I began writing poetry and songs at an early age, eventually pursuing journalism and investigative reporting. Today, I am honored to carry on Schiller's tradition of documenting the human condition and the forces shaping our world. As a Pulitzer Prize-nominated investigative journalist, six-time #1 best-selling author, and founder of the Inspire Literary Group, I've spent my career chronicling stories of significance, whether through my books, The Babylon Code and Trumpocalypse, or my latest works, Revelation 911 and the Trump Code. These projects reflect a lifelong calling to explore the interplay of history, prophecy, and destiny. At the Inspire Literary Group, we believe everyone has a story worth sharing. If you felt a calling to write your story, we are here to help. Whether it's a memoir, a novel, or a work of investigative nonfiction, our mission is to guide you in bringing your story to life. Like Dylan's music and Schiller's writings, your story can inspire others and contribute to the greater narrative of human experience. Let us help you leave your mark on history. Together, we can make your voice heard. From concept to bestseller, your journey to becoming a published author begins here. At Inspire Literary Group, we're passionate about turning your vision into reality. Whether you're staring at a blank page or polishing a masterpiece, our expert team is here to guide you every step of the way. From personalized ghostwriting, collaboration, and editing to publishing services, we help amplify your unique voice and message. With deep connections to top literary agents, entertainment attorneys, and major publishers, we ensure your story stands out in the competitive world of publishing. Led by Troy Anderson, six-time #1 best-selling author, Inspire Literary Group is your partner in transforming dreams into bestsellers. Whether it's a heartfelt memoir, an impactful faith-based book, or a powerful novel, your journey begins with us. Take the first step toward success. Contact Troy Anderson for a free consultation at troyanderson@inspireliterary.com or 949-887-1511. Learn more at www.inspireliterary.com and www.troyanderson.us. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace. Let us help you write the next chapter of your success story.